Thank you for coming. Get started. All right, so we are starting a little bit late here. We are missing our second speaker, but we're going to get started and hopefully that person shows up. Thank you. Yes, a lot of traffic this morning. Thank you all for being here and making it in time for the traffic. She just showed up. Yes. All right, so welcome to 1 Million Cups, Tampa. For social media, we've got Facebook /1 Million Cups Tampa. Insta is at 1MCTPA. LinkedIn and YouTube are 1 Million Cups Tampa. We'd love it if you take photos of not necessarily myself, but the speakers and tag that you were here. My name's Miranda Kelly. I am the banking finance organizer. I will introduce our other organizers in the middle. But I wanted to start, how did you hear about 1 Million Cups? Well, let's start out with, who here this is their first time? Excellent. All right. Both of you gentlemen, just quickly, how did you hear about it?
Found you online looking for a new network.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. All right. We love that. And so if you'll do social media, other people will hear and see that too. We consider this the place for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs to go. It's a very lonely process, and we are not as kind with ourselves as we are with other people. And so when you hear that other people are having the similar problems, or you're hearing how they're handling it and how it differs from you, those are great conversations and help you understand that we're all in this together. We thank the Kauffman Foundation. They're based out of Kansas City. And they had this vision years ago to create, so why 1 Million Cups? They hope that in the different time zones across the United States at 9 to 10, most of them meet, that we're going to have 1 million cups of coffee shared and talking about entrepreneurship. That's a great goal. Don't know that we've got it with our 140 type locations, but we're continuing to grow every day. Without further, so checking in, please. The QR codes that are flat on the table, those of you who know me, you know I don't recommend QR codes, but these are safe. That is our check-in. So the Kauffman Foundation knows that we're bringing new people constantly, that we're getting new people coming in. And then for those of you, the reward for checking in multiple times, after 3 times, you're eligible for some swag, some cups, journals, etc. So please check in, let them know we're doing our job. The one that's standing up in a tabletop, that's for the ECC, the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. We are just one of the dozens of businesses, nonprofits that are here to support entrepreneurs. And so I recommend just signing up for that. You get a bi-weekly email from them letting you know what's coming up. And if you have an opening or if somebody's canceled on you and there's something coming up, attend. This is already paid for by your tax dollars primarily, so take advantage of the resources that we have. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Coach C. Jackson to talk to us about Showtime. Okay.
Sorry, this didn't went off. Yeah.
No worries.
All right, good morning, good people. Thank you all for being here today. I truly appreciate you taking the time to let me introduce you to Showtime Business Camp. As you can see, it's an after-school program to teach entrepreneurship to you. It's hosted by me, Coach C. Jackson, where the C stands for turning your child's craft into lifelong cash. So before we get started, I was told last time you should do the resume. Why you? Why should you be the one to lead this charge? I've been teaching for a very, very long time. I was not a 3 o'clock teacher. I actually worked very, very, very hard. As you can see, I was coach of the year at tennis, reason why I came up with Coach C. Jackson, and I was teacher of the year. I've done a lot for entrepreneurship. So I was the first teacher in Hillsborough County to teach entrepreneurship as a standalone course. And as you can see, I went 3 years to the national competition for NIFTY. NIFTY is a nonprofit organization. It's titled Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship. So 3 years back to back to back, I had kids go to that. I've had 95 students go to FBLA, with 2 of them going on to the national competition. So FBLA is Future Business Leaders of America. So if you know anything about high schools, that is the competition they go in that. And most proudly, I got 150 kids pass the entrepreneurship and small business certification exam. That's put on by Intuit, the makers of QuickBooks. That's what they do. So you say, well, with all that, well, why you leave teaching? Well, as you can imagine, there's a lot of issues in the world of education right now, especially in public school. I was one of these people right here that got out with a college degree and did not get a job. I was not the best student growing up. Of course, I didn't have the things on the right side with social media, and I didn't worry about artificial intelligence like kids are nowadays, that a lot of these jobs are getting eradicated. So I said, well, what could I do? So I came up with the solution of, what if we had a summer camp? What if we had a standalone course and we could take the things that we did in the classroom, because in the classroom we do a lot of theory, which is good. So they have an understanding, but doing is better. So then I said, well, I'm going to come up with a summer camp where kids will actually take their hobbies, their passion, their talents, and let's go ahead and design a business. And so then that was good. And I went through and did market research. And in the market research, I was like, okay, it's good to have a 1 week, 2 week camp or whatever, but it'd be nice to have like a follow-on program or something that kids could do during the school year. And these were the concerns that a lot of parents said. Well, my child comes home, they do nothing but get on the screen. They play video games all day long. If you have a teenager, you understand this right here. You ask them a question, they get one answer. Yes, no, maybe, fine, whatever. That's what they do, right? They're not milking cows. You're not asking them. You just want them to take the trash out the Roomba or take the trash outside. But yet they complain about that. They do not want to do any chores, anything that's in there. And you know that the mental health problems are very prevalent in this demographic right now. So I said, well, wouldn't it be nice if I had an after-school program, something that kind of goes along with what I had before? So I take you back in time. I had these rocks in my backyard growing up. And when you open them up, they look like this. So I'm going to pass it around so you can see a little bit closer to what I had. So the rock looked very, very cool. And I was like, wow. So this was way before I knew anything about Tiffany's or that diamonds were a girl's best friend. I just knew it looked very cool on the inside. And I said, man, I can make this into jewelry. So you look at the character you see on the right side over there. Well, why did I become a teacher? Why am I not some millionaire with a beach house on Clearwater? I tell you why. I did not have this program. There was not a place where I could go and make things. There was not somebody that could help me with the business plan and help me foster the idea. There was not a community that brought people together to say, this is the stuff that you can do to enhance and make your particular business. So I went through the Equinet program. So if you were here last week, you saw Ms. Terry introduced us to that program. I went through that and I was like, this would be the perfect place that I could go and hone in and help them with my ability with teach entrepreneurship and their ability to have the equipment that's there. So I know you're thinking right now, well, how much does it cost? I'm doing the same price as what you would see the average for systems here in the Tampa Bay area. So $25 for class, $100 a month. It'll be an 8-month program, as you can see down there. So I started off last week doing an open house preview event. That's what I plan to do, along with other marketing materials, but bringing parents and students in so they can see this is the facility we have. This is what we're able to do, and going through a little mock program. I'm planning to have it the 3rd or 4th week of June and July, and hopefully in May, but we shall see. I've come a long way. I started this journey back in August when I said, I ain't coming back no more. So, and I pray that I don't go back. So now I'm very happy to report, as you can see from my little timeline, I have my first business camp 2nd week of June. So I'm very, very, very excited about that right there. Again, thank you so much for listening to my presentation on Showtime Business Camp, facilitated by me, Coach C. Jackson, where the C stands for turning your child's craft into lifelong cash.
Thank you, Coach Jackson. Great presentation. The first question that we like to ask is, what can the community do for you?
Okay, so thank you so much for asking that. I have that I'm trying to do as a 1-day camp once a week, but I also want to have another location where I can do something else and have a different type of thing. So this one I'm trying to focus in just on kids that have a product that they want to make. Obviously, especially when dealing with kids, I need help. with getting the word out because people trust other people. So just putting up a website, if you look at my social media, you saw that's why I was so proud to put it on there. I said, man, make sure you put the Instagram logo on there. Did that? I didn't have that before, but now I got it, and so I got a marketing intern now. So now I have that. I need help getting that word out there and promote, and then also with partnerships. So yes, I want to have my standalone camp, my after-school program, but if somebody else has another after-school program, then I can embed myself into teaching what they want to teach. So they have their basketball camp. All right, well, how do you take that thing that you like to do and how do you make money from that? Because it is difficult. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Coach. For those of you in the room, if you have a question, please raise your hand so Coach can call on you.
I don't have a question. I have a couple of comments. Great presentation. I really enjoyed it. Have you considered partnering with Pittsburgh County has about 24 community schools. And within that community schools network, they have some funding. And they also have the ability to bring in additional programs for the students. And so you already have a network of students that's already at the location. You can partner up with the community resource teacher. I am one of them.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yes.
And I'm actually starting a youth entrepreneurship program at my school. So I would love to talk to you and maybe we can partner and then I can introduce you to other community school leaders and we'll go from there.
Awesome, wonderful. So yeah, that was exactly what I was saying. If I can get that right there, then yes. So, no. Turn.
Everybody else.
Right behind.
Oh, you're behind me.
Yeah. I know, I thought it was, I knew, I saw it too. I was like, oh, they got two microphones.
Yes.
All right, awesome.
Thank
I'm so
you.
Proud. I also think it's great when we're all in the same room together, but then you give a presentation and people who already know you go, hey, that was good. Now I know what you're actually doing. So that was excellent. I would also recommend organizations like UNCDC, the University Area Community Development Center Corporation up on 22nd, which is actually near Mort, which is also a community partnership school. And so they do a lot of programs for the community there. So those kind of agencies and organizations will definitely get you looped in on those, but don't overlook the community programs, skills centers, stuff like that. And of course, Amrock, you have a week open to you to do a camp. And so, you have opportunities to plug in everywhere, take them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Okay. Good, you got it.
Oh, go ahead.
Is Showtime Business Camp a great presentation?
Thank you.
Is it gonna be a for-profit or a nonprofit? That was my first question. And if it's a for-profit, how much do you charge?
For profit, it's gonna be $100 per month. So it's gonna be $800 for the encompass of the year. So, but I do eventually want to make it down to the nonprofit round. And the other thing that I do want to have is sponsorship. I want to go to other adults and say, hey, I got this child, just like people would have field trips. And then we would give money to that advisor, or people would give me money for my kids to go on a field trip, and then they can go out and do it. But I still want, them to have an investment. That's why you saw that one slide said investment.
This is an awesome idea. Super excited.
Thank you.
I was wondering kind of about the curriculum and particularly for like the full camp versus if you just do like one check-in with the student. So if there's like one, like, hey, you can just come in for a one-time stop, or if you have to sign up for the full camp and how that curriculum kind of differentiates.
I mean, obviously, this is my first year, so being flexible with a lot of things, I understand is something that I probably will have to do, but I really would like it where they sign up for the whole year, where it is 8 months and then we go through, because you need the time to teach the different things. And the way I have it set up with the 8 months is going off of the different mindsets of entrepreneurship, also have it off of the integrities of building a business and the business model canvas. So I kind of need all of those months to go through to do things. Now, if you look at my website, you will see that I'm planning to put some self-paced courses in there. So let's say little Johnny already has his business and he only wants to learn how to do QuickBooks. Then little Johnny can go and just learn how to do just QuickBooks, but that is something that I'm working on as well. Thank you. Good question.
Hello. Yes, that was a good presentation. I call that AI images. Okay. I want to know, who is your customer? Are you targeting like individual parents, or are you targeting schools, or who exactly are you targeting with this after school program?
Obviously, I have different targets. So I do want the students that already have an idea. I just went to my old school and I ran into a student that I didn't even have, but he knew me. And he was like, "Oh, Mr. Jackson, my sister made this product and she did it when she was in 8th grade. Now she's in high school and we want to actually make this as a product." I said, "That is fantabulous. Like, that is my demographic. That's exactly what I want, where they're in a school and they don't have an entrepreneurship program, or they're in a school and they don't have the resources to do the things they want to do and they need help getting into that next level because they already have the idea." Obviously, I do want to go after community organizations that already have a program, and then I'm pushing in, and then I'm going up to the parents as well, because parents are frustrated. So just I did a very small market research, and just my little sample, all of them, I'm like, oh my goodness, these are friends of mine. I'm like, I met your child, they seem pretty cool to me, but they have a lot of issues. And I'm like, okay, so I have 3 different things. And trust me, there are kids out there that don't play sports, that don't have something else like a musical instrument that they play on after school, or they have something they do that they're just kind of sitting there, but they're like, I have an idea and I want to make money. And so my job is to help bring out that idea. Good question.
Hey, Coach, good to see this moving down the field further. Love it. And you're right, it's like selling cereal. Some of it's marketed to the child, some of it's to the parent, right? So Sugar O's versus Oreos. What's the age range? Because you're talking a lot about they already have an idea, perhaps, etc. What's the lowest age that you're going to be welcoming in?
13. So their 8th, 9th grade is the lowest age, up to 18. Eventually, I do want to get to that where I'm doing adult education and I'm helping people like me that got out of college and couldn't get a job. And like I'm seeing a lot of college students that they can't get something. And then eventually I do want to get that young, because I know a lot of middle school teachers as well, because I did. I know a lot of people. Good question. Who's it on?
Great presentation. I love watching the evolution of this. My question is similar to your last, or to the last two. Is there going to be any kind of parental involvement in the curriculum? Because I see a lot of opportunity here to bring the parents in, even if it's not on an every week basis, but for some of these business ideas, they're going to need some starting capital, and getting the parents involved from the very beginning, or letting the parents know how they can be a part of the process and support their child's dreams might be helpful. And there may be some, assistive or supportive curriculum for the parents or other stakeholders. Maybe it's older brother or sister who wants to partner with them. So have you thought about incorporating other people besides just the idea maker into the sequence?
I actually got it from researching another business up in New York about having an investor mentor. So like people like yourself that sit in the room and you have young Johnny that has an idea for a particular thing. My mom did hair. That's how we got to go on vacations. And let's say a young lady wanted to do hair, then my mom could be the mentor for that. I didn't think about the parents though. I'm glad you said that.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
But I'm glad you said that, because I didn't think about the parent. I just think about, the investor mentor, where I'm going out and pitching people and saying, hey, my kids have went through this program. They've been in it for a whole year. Now they got this stuff. Now come watch them, just like we're doing right now. And then having like a gallery walk, like when we saw the Business Expo at University of Tampa, that they have their booth set up, and then people say, that's the business that I want to work with. And then that'll be the year 2 kids that get the money and actually build the prototypes and do stuff. It's a good one. Glad you said that. Go ahead.
Great passion.
Thank you.
For what you're doing. I'm more interested in how are you gonna make this a marquee event that can continue? In other words, like, have you thought about possibly doing a competition at the end of each
Yes.
cycle?
Yes. Definitely. So in the beginning, obviously, you got to teach them and do the stuff, but kids are competitive. You'd be shocked at how competitive they are when there's something on the line. So I do want to have it where after they finish that first cycle, that they're going to do a pitch competition, and I'm working on it. I'm
We
working on
have
it.
future makers.
Yeah, right there, yeah. Yeah.
He said.
Oh, okay. Got it, yeah.
Hey, good morning. I'd like to know more about your curriculum. If you've already designed it, sounds like you've got people going in for your June class next year.
Correct.
Or coming up. Selling opportunity here to kids, but I'd love to know more about the plan to sort of tell them what options they have for funding these startups, like a business license, a website. That'd be nice to know.
So in the beginning, you got to teach them the basics. Now, there are some kids, like I told you about that student that went from middle school to high school that she competed in the 8th grade. So there are some kids that already have the background. So it really just depends where they're at as far as in there. I will use the Nifty curriculum. So you can, as a for-profit company, you can purchase their curriculum. It's not just for schools. So I will purchase their curriculum for that. The 3-day camp that I'm doing over the summertime, that is something that I made, and we're just going off the business model canvas. So the same thing you probably did for your business, I'm doing that right there as a short and condensed version of the traditional business plan that when I was growing up, that's what we were taught to do. I'm just doing that straight bullet point thing where they're putting their ideals down into some concise format. But I do have it laid out with time slots and everything like that that I already given to them.
Coach, again, great presentation. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to the slide where you talked about what it costs?
Let's go on this one.
Now look at that. Every other slide was popping.
Oh, well, I mean,
This, you need this to be bigger. You need to put some pizzazz into it and tell them what they're gonna get out of it. Put down at the end, you had talked at the beginning what your certifications were or what these kids got out of it. And if they're still in high school, are they gonna be able to go to that national thing with you?
no.
No? Okay, so talk about, you got what you just talked about, at the end, doing a pitch competition, something like that, so that you're giving them those polished skills as well. I
Okay.
think would really add value to your presentation and add value to what they're paying.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, you know what, I think we've got time for one more question.
Question from, do we still have half cups? No, do we still do 1 half cups? You still do?
No.
Oh.
We can talk about
Yeah,
it.
that's outline. All right.
You can actually recreate it with your graduate. How's that?
I like that. Thank you. Thank you.
Under AMROC.
All right, thank you, everybody, thank you.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Yes, please, thank you. You're good. Okay. Thank you, Coach. Before we bring up our next speaker, I do want to thank our sponsors. First sponsor is the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center, the building we're in. As I mentioned, there are dozens of other classes and training that you can take here. 95% of them are at no charge. Some are at low cost because it might be a day event and includes lunch. But if you don't look, you don't know the benefits. These are, again, mostly free. Take advantage of it. Blind Tiger, our coffee sponsor, they bring us coffee every week. We thank them very much. Very appreciative. And if you haven't had a chance, grab a cup before you go. They like to have us complete it so they're not taking anything back with them. If you are an organizer, please raise your hand. Woo woo! We got Walter. We've got Shane. We've got myself. We've got Lynn was here a second ago. There she is in the back. And we've got Cassidy and Sheila. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you. Our social media, Tori Torres, I don't see her, but she has been, why you've seen us on social media has been all her effort and we appreciate her. Without further ado, I'm gonna bring up Indwell Superfood Kitchen, Sandra Aguero.
Good morning, everyone. How's it going? So by day, I'm a designer. I've spent 12 years designing experiences for enterprise companies and startups alike. but what I'm sharing today is based on my own health journey. I'm Sandra Aguero, founder of Indwell Superfoods, a meal service that helps busy people eat healthy consistently without the overwhelm. So early in my design career, in my 20s, I had to face the hard truth. The way I was living and eating was breaking down my health. I started experiencing symptoms like fatigue, joint pain, weight gain, and I wasn't getting any answers. I went through traditional healthcare, but was only offered ways to manage symptoms and not actually heal. And after 2 years of searching, things got worse and I became exhausted. I decided to take matters into my own hands to not just treat the symptoms, but address the root cause of my ailments. And through extensive research in holistic health and nutrition, I sought to create a plan to renew my health. And within 4 months, I discovered not only the answer to a 55-pound weight loss, but lasting restored health. Most importantly, I felt like myself again. My energy was renewed and I had mental clarity like never before. And that's when it became very clear to me. The information is out there, but applying it to everyday life is where people get lost. The solution wasn't easy for me, but it was simple and it became the foundation for what I built. And I come to find that my story is not unique. This is part of a larger problem. Most Americans are living with the same symptoms I had, and some sort of recurring digestive issue. And over half of the diet offered to us is ultra-processed food rather than real ingredients. And not to mention, chronic disease rates are surging in America. We have 133 million Americans living with a chronic disease, and there's 4.5 trillion US healthcare spend, yet these rates keep rising. We are spending trillions treating diseases we could address with food. Our entire relationship with food has changed over the decades. What it is, how it's made, and how we eat it. And for those wanting to make a change, the path is not clear. They're buried in conflicting nutrition advice and handed meal prep service reduced to counting macros and plastic containers. Healthy eating has become complicated and disconnected from real nourishment. And that's the gap that Indwell Superfoods was created to solve. Indwell Superfoods makes the way that I healed accessible to everyone with nourishing meals designed to support long-term wellness. And we do that in 3 ways. Through ready-to-eat meals, real food that removes the stress of planning and prep and without sacrificing flavor. Indwell is also a return to something we've lost, eating together intentionally. Indwell, and that's why we're building shared food experiences and workplace wellness programs along with our core offering. We launched this year with meal drops and subscriptions. How it works is customers can pre-order and pick up batch prepared meals for the week available at a local pickup location. And from there, we expand into shared dining experiences like curated supper clubs, boutique catering, as well as corporate wellness programs that support modern teams in a health-forward way. Then we move into pantry goods and digital experiences, included guided programs and personalized coaching. And the long-term vision here is based on an app experience I designed where food education and community work together to support lasting wellness. This is designed to scale, but it starts local and it starts with something that people need. Our audience are busy professionals and families, mostly women ranging from 25 to 50, who want to be more proactive with their health, but don't have the opportunity to do it consistently. And there's a key group within that, people navigating chronic symptoms who, like me, haven't found real answers through traditional healthcare. These people aren't looking for another diet. They're looking for a way to live well and live to the full. I want to thank you guys so much for your time here. It's an honor to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Great presentation.
Thank you.
I'm sure this is going to come as no surprise to you, but our first question is, what can the community do for you?
So glad you asked. So if you believe in this mission or passionate about healthy eating, nutrition, become a founding community member, be part of Indwell from the beginning. You can also show up at our first meal drop. We're launching this year and we're looking for early customers or people who are interested in volunteering for the event. Thirdly, if you've run a wellness brand or have started a wellness brand or a food business, I would love to learn from you. And you can go ahead and scan this QR code to fill out a 3-question survey to stay connected and determine which area you would like to help out with.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna go ahead and ask the first question. Ironically, I pitched the same business to our chef in-house, and we didn't make it proceed. So I'm so glad to see somebody pick it up. Could you please go into pricing on the meal drops, and do you offer a vegan option? So if you could just clarify that. Please.
Sure. So pricing is something that we're still working on, or that I'm still working on. But for more or less, we're breaking it down by 3 to 5 servings for our first meal drop. So we're looking at like a 3-serving, I don't have my numbers on me right now, but for like a 3-serving meal prep situation, I'm thinking it was around 55 to 65, ranging from 55 to 80 for 3 to 5 servings for the week. Still.
And a vegan, what options are
Oh,
there?
sure. So everything will be designed, all the menus will be designed to be low inflammation, not necessarily dairy, and there will be a fully vegetable vegan option as well.
Is it organic?
Yes, that is the goal, to have sourced from local organic farms or regional organic farms.
No, I'm saying yeah, for vegan. Go ahead.
Wonderful. I absolutely love this idea, especially as someone, when you were talking about how difficult it is to find quality ingredients, I love that. Like, I'm on this kick now. I think I'm going to learn how to make my own yogurt because I just don't want to buy like all of the super processed stuff. So my first question then is, who is doing all of the cooking? Are you personally doing it, or how are you sourcing? Like, how are you navigating that, almost like that pipeline of, okay, someone makes an order, who's setting the menu and who's doing the cooking? I love that you said, locally sourced ingredients, but where is what's the production process like if I am your first customer, which I will gladly be?
Awesome. I love that. I actually started making my own kefir. It's very simple. It's going to save a lot of money. To your question, so while I was on this journey with my health, I started falling in love with preparing meals in batches. So it's going to be me at the beginning. I'm planning on renting a kitchen here to carve out a few hours to kind of prep these meals. And I'm looking to start very small, possibly like 5 to 15 customers for our first drop. And so I would be preparing the meals, having it stored there, and then bringing it to the actual meal drop location to distribute. Does that answer your question fully?
Do you need someone to do that with you?
Hey, come on over.
I mean,
over here.
Hey, Sandra, I want to agree with everyone. That was fantastic presentation. My specific questions come around the education part. Just because I, as well, have a huge passion for holistic well-being, but I understand in order to change, you have to get to the root, and the root is usually with the programming that we've been taught or we've been exposed to. Share a little bit more about the education part that you offer alongside what you do.
Awesome question. And it really is a mindset thing. It's almost shifting what we know about food and getting back to the core of it, like keeping it simple on an ingredient basis. And what came up in research is that people like to learn more about the health benefits with each ingredient. So I'm thinking of translating that through the actual packaging, whether it's something that you can scan and learn more about on your phone, or having actual paper to see, oh, what's in my meal? Oh, this is the health benefits of each ingredient and what it's seasoned with, and this can help with this. Down the line, I'm hoping to have some sort of experience to do like goal-oriented type of meals, so people can choose what they would like to eat based on the focus of their health. If they're having digestive issues, how can we craft a personalized meal for that?
All right, thank you so much for coming. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
So there's competition out there, and that's one thing that you have to be mindful of. But one area that I've never seen presented is the approach to businesses, people that work at jobs, because even the people that are trying to be healthy unless they are very well organized and have all their food and they bring it to work, that's a hassle, or they don't have time. You're targeting those people. That might be your niche when it comes right down to it, is finding a group of business people, not too big of businesses, mid-sized businesses, people that want to be healthy.
Sure.
I think that's
I love that.
yeah,
Absolutely.
hopefully that works.
Oh,
Great presentation. I like the toys. It seemed like you're doing your research. But I was interested in learning more about the meal drop concept. Particularly in light of what you just mentioned, this competition. How do you intend to package and store? Because that's very important. On a separate note, my wife just started ordering food and it's a subscription. They will package it and it's nice. So when we get it, you know what to do with it, right? So
absolutely.
touch a little bit more on your meal drop concept.
Sure. And I always like, can I go back to a slide?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love a good visual, obviously. So the meal drop, we're looking to launch a very like pilot MVP version. So I would post a menu via social media. People can, I can offer people to sign up for it and place an order through digital. And then I would go prepare them at a shared food kitchen and then store it there depending on their storage protocols. And then have it refrigerated and brought to a meal drop. Hopefully, I'm looking for a location that actually has refrigeration on site or something to keep it warm. And with packaging, so that's an interesting concept that I'm seeing in the competition space. So really, we're going to serve in individual trays. So say, for instance, they get 3 servings of roasted chicken and then 1 separate tray of 3 servings of some sort of starch, and then a separate tray of veggies, so they can take home their ingredients and plate as they would like. They can switch it up so it doesn't get boring. And that is the vision at this point. Did I answer all of your questions there? Okay, cool.
Some feedback based on what other people have said. So, because the competition is broad, leaning into the workplace, you could actually position it as a benefit. Some of these smaller companies are self-pay on their insurance.
Yeah.
And if they have unhealthy employees, that's costing them more. So you could go in and present to the business owner and say, if you can engage your employees to come in, I can do some samples at a lunchtime. And if I get this many people sign up, I can cut the cost to this because you're coming to one location, they're all prepared for it. And you could actually set it up so it includes some of the knowledge and training, and you could do a lunch and learn with them.
Oh, perfect.
And you could do like an 8-week. And if you were to target businesses down in Tampa where you've got the whole building and you can kind of do like a daily, you could do Monday this floor, whatever. So there's some ways to do that where you are hitting both of those knowledge and training. So my second product or point is maybe lean into the supper club first also to invite people, because it's a low cost way for them to come do a sample. It's a pop-up. You're gonna get to sample all these dishes that are gonna be up and coming so that they know what they taste like before they order and they make a commitment to order that many. If my question to you is, how are you going to address, if you're in a shared kitchen, how are you going to confirm that you're offering a vegan option when you're doing shared cooking space?
Oh, that's a good point. I'll have to look further into that. Are you speaking about like cross kind of contamination for sure? So I'm wondering, that's an interesting question to see how you would tell that story. Is it like in a separate vegan part of the kitchen? I'll look into that for sure. Sure, Terry. Hey.
Great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I love it. Obviously, you want to be a customer. As we can cater different events, we do different events and healthy eating, especially with our students and stuff, is really a big part. I had a question sort of along the lines of the shared kitchen, because I was going to ask you, how are you preparing these and staying within safe, catering guidelines sort of. So one of my questions was about that is how you, I'm not sure of the food laws and things like that, but I imagine you have those covered and can assure people when they're ordering that, it's all safe.
Absolutely. We're required by law to do a Serve Safe certification. So one of my next steps is to engage in that. to make sure I'm following all those
That
laws.
reassures people on top of everything else you do. It's awesome.
Have a resource for that.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh, great.
Hi, great concept that you have. So you're gonna be having your catering license because you're gonna be working in transportation, correct?
So I've been wondering and trying to figure out if it actually needs to be a catering license.
To have a catering
Okay.
license.
Thank you.
And once you have that catering license, you're gonna have that freedom of being able to even deliver directly. So you're talking workplace delivery, things like that, which would probably be a lot easier for you because from my past experience, I can't tell you now, but from my past experience, if you are going to be dropping food off at X location that's going to have your product, then you're gonna have to pay extra for that. So you're gonna be losing more money there. So if you want to at least your concept is that you want to make money off this, you want to be profitable. So I would suggest finding spaces that you could just have just, or depending on wherever your kitchen is that you're working in, they may even permit you to be the place where people come and pick up from. And that's going to save you a step as well.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Good job. Happy to see the transformation and how it's
Thanks,
grown
Chris.
to what you have right now. You know, I love the dinner club idea because I did it after COVID. Being a single person, just love that family style idea. Do you have a website yet? And do you have a proposed first date that you want to do that type of thing?
Very important questions. No, there's not a website yet. We're focused mostly on Instagram. That might be kind of where we start for the time being. And your second question, it just fleed my mind. When do we start? So we're looking, still determining the date, but we're looking around summer, around August.
Love it. Thank you.
Really good job.
Thank
Just
you.
an idea I had because of our awesome first speaker is maybe a good market could be partnering with camps and all these different organizations. I do a lot of work with school districts, but they have a lot of contracts already built. And there are, countless after school programs for different things, karate, sports, entrepreneurship. So you could hit a jackpot with them because they don't maybe have this in place yet.
Great idea. Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, Laura.
How's it going?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay. Awesome presentation. Yeah. I wanted to know, like you told your story, how you lost all the weight in a matter, was it 4 months?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a very compelling story. I think it would resonate with a lot of people. So have you thought about, like Tampa itself is an emerging tech hub. So I'm sure there's other, millennials, Gen Z, who have tech jobs, they're running themselves into the ground. And people are being forced to do more work with AI. They don't have as big of a team. So I'm sure they're all going exactly through what you did. So have you thought about using your background in tech to target the tech industry since it's huge here in Tampa?
Absolutely. I'm one of those people that can easily get to a place of being overworked and forgetting about your own self-care practices or taking care of yourself. So this has been designed with that type of persona in mind, making it convenient for people to eat well, not have to think about it too hard. And hopefully, with the app concept, that can help tailor or use AI tools to kind of help speed along that process or make decisions better or have that education piece readily available for them. Yes, I hope that answered your question, but more or less, I'll expand later.
So quickly, can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm not trying to be funny, but it sounded like it wasn't working. You may have already covered this, however, college campuses, you've already you thinking about delivering to them, providing plans. Yeah.
Same with working professionals. It's how can we appeal to the people that don't have a lot of time? I think about moms, I think about young professionals, single young professionals, college students. How can we make that accessible for them? And what I hear from research too, from somebody in a college range, they particularly wanted more bulk food options. So not just like individual bowls, but more yeah, larger servings at a time, so they can plate and eat as they go throughout the week.
Just curious if you've considered vending machines. I don't know if that would be, money well spent or a waste, but have you considered vending machines?
I love that option. I used to live in Austin, Texas, and in the airport, there's actually a healthy food vending machine where you can get like cold noodle bowls, and I just love it. Wraps. I would totally be open for that and down the line for sure. With a nice interface and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Do we have time for one more question? Anybody? All right. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you all.
Thank you to both of our speakers. We appreciate you being vulnerable and coming up here and sharing your business. I hope that you received some great input and you're making some connections after this. While we're getting up our list of upcoming events, please, just because the presentations are done, this event is not done. Please continue to network after, make connections. And if you are new for the first time, or you're now been a couple times and you're considering becoming a presenter, please talk with one of the organizers and we can let you know that process and how to get that started for you. Without further ado, here are the upcoming events. Thank you very much.